Your sensei doesn't know what he's talking about. Hi everyone, welcome back to another Scotty Karate video. Today we're going to be going over something that you might be experiencing and maybe you have in the past. And that's, does your sensei actually know what they're talking about? So we're not talking about the obvious things such as your sensei's teaching you no-touch knockouts. Obviously, those are fake. You can prove that with a few minutes of Google search, YouTube search. You'll find hundreds of videos. There's lots of videos out there that talk about this. Heck, there's even a YouTube channel dedicated to basically just that. But the reality is a lot of people get suckered in by it. And it's very easy to have that happen to you because once you get in there and you learn things, and you can verify certain things are true. Such as, if I teach you how to punch, and I show you and we practice and you hit an opponent or you hit a bag and all of a sudden you see that works. And you're like, oh, obviously that's real. And then I say, okay, but now we got into this other technique that's a little shady, that looks a little different. It's easy for someone that's built up that trust and that understanding on, yeah, they obviously know what they're talking about because X, Y, Z worked. Why wouldn't this? Well, that's a hard thing to get past. That's why pressure testing and knowing what the move is actually used for, blah, 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 it comes into play. So, with that, first example I always like to give is just ask. If someone teaches you something or says, hey, we're going to do X, Y, Z, ask. Okay, that doesn't look like it works. Like, why would anyone, my favorite, and this is just a personal pet peeve, random rant, sorry. I'm so tired of people saying karate doesn't work because no one's going to sit there and hold their punch out while you do 45 moves to them. Yeah, no crap, because that's not real. No respectable dojo teaches that, ever. Am I making that clear? No one teaches that. That is a bald-faced straw man that people have built up to discredit another martial art, or in this case, karate. No one teaches. You should go up to your opponent and go, yeah! And then just hold it, because reasons. These things are not real. They're not true. No respectable dojo teaches you to keep your arm out while the other person hits you 47 times. That's not real. As a matter of fact, most karate practitioners and most reputable schools, first thing they teach you is the snap. Once you hit, you don't leave it out. You snap it back. Why? So they can't do all the craziness that everybody says happens. It's not real. But I digress. Back to the video. So if your instructor is teaching you something that isn't quite on the level, it's hard to realize that it's not because there might be some grounding in reality on why they're doing it. I guess the best example I can give is like a knife fight. You'll see somebody like they'll take a knife and they'll go, yup, and just stab it straight into their opponent. And then they go, okay, well you just go, shot, and just sweep it across and the knife goes flying. And can it happen? Maybe. Would the move, if I'm a good competitor with a knife and I stab it and you and I have a loose grip, could it go flying? Yeah, the chances are it could work. But is that the best thing you should be doing? No. But it's grounded in some reality. And when you do it slow, and it goes flying, it now gives validity to the technique. And now that person goes home and goes, someone attacks with a knife. They're obviously going to thrust it, and I'm going to smack it away. No, please stop. But you'll come across these, and they'll teach you these techniques, and they're just like, I don't think that's right. I don't see how it could work. Ask, because I bet you'll be surprised. A lot of instructors, especially if you're going through the ranks and you've been there a while, and they trust you, they'll sit there and go, oh, no, absolutely not. I would never do that. It's because this is something that I've been able to do this with. I can do this. It leads into 5 other different things, not just They stab, they hold it there, I smack it, the knife goes away, and ha-ha, victory. They'll explain and give you more context to how it actually applies to the actual situation versus the muscle memory of getting you to do the move. The next question. What if your instructor's doing this? Let's pretend it's not just one-off little thing. What if it's actually a problem? What if they're actually teaching you something that could be dangerous? I want to give you a real-world example. This has happened to me.
It's story time!
Okay, I was lucky enough to kind of go, I'll do it because I'm being told to, but I'm not using that ever in reality because it would never work. But I've witnessed people that did this exact technique and get hurt. So what I mean by that, let's say our good friend Bob here is attacking me. God, arm comes out. The technique was, to talk poop about it, was what I like to call the windmill. Okay. And the idea is they come in, they punch, and I basically parry it away. Honestly, I'm not sure, because every time I asked and tried to get more understanding of what it was, I got some voodoo-y BS that honestly, it bothered me. But I kept trying and trying to find ways to make it incorporate. Okay, well, this gives me good center line protection, so maybe that's what they're trying to get. But the problem is I wasn't getting the upper instructor's actual input on it, because it might be that, just simply, they're just trying to make sure my center's covered. Or it's some garbage that they learned that they thought that looked really cool or works, and they've never actually done it, and then they taught it. Which, let's be honest, is most likely what was happening. Now, the reality of this is we had people in our school get hurt doing this exact thing. That's a problem to me, because reality is they trusted this person to teach them something to defend themselves, and that person got hurt using that technique. So in this particular instance, he was doing this to a kick, which he was told to do. They were literally practicing this technique. Guy came in, and he went, and as soon as he did it, he caught it wrong and broke his hand. Literally proving every single thing I already had in my head that this wasn't a safe technique. Now, there's always risks with everything, obviously. If I come in and I just guard as he comes across, the odds are, I might get hurt. But there's some mitigation of that problem. So in this case, it got a lot worse than it would protecting. So this did a lot less for him than against him, which to me makes it a technique that needs to go by the wayside. Now, this is just one example, and I'm sure you might have many more to add to it, but the reality is, does this one technique that obviously doesn't work, that in this example did get someone hurt, should we stop doing it entirely? Does it have any merit? For me, I'm going to go with my gut and think that that's not something that I really need to spend a lot of time on, because I haven't seen any actual application that will make that worth anything. And I have seen someone get hurt doing it, which makes it, to me, a problem. Now, that's one technique I can kind of move on my life, but the reality is, what if your whole school is based on this? What if you have a lot? What if you can verifiably look at your sensei and go, no, that's not going to work? And it's not just one-off, like it's progressively getting worse. As you go through it, you're like, no, but why would I ever stop a knife by open-handing, grabbing the knife blade? And, come on, you'd be surprised at things that people teach. There's a video out there right now of a sensei teaching the kid where he comes up with a knife, puts the knife to his throat, and the guy's supposed to use his chin to disarm the knife. You should think for yourself. If it gets to the point, it might be time to go. And that's a hard one, because you've already invested so much. If it's like your first week and you're like, no. Well, obviously not. But reality is most of these you start to learn and find as you go through the ranks. And you might be a black belt there before you truly hone in and go, a lot of this stuff doesn't work. Why are we teaching it? It's so common that you would be surprised at how in today's day and age we still have this happen. The beautiful part about YouTube is you get to see lots of different martial artists show you techniques, talk about these things, and give you the education. And there's still people out there that go, you know what? This works. I'm going to keep doing it. You got to think for yourself. Now, this is not to discourage you, because the reality is if you are in a situation, you might need to get out. But it might be just a one-off that you just need to disregard and keep going and get the full education that you wanted from your dojo. It's up to you. But the reality is you do need to be thinking about these things. It is very common for people to kind of check out and not think about it. Yes, I'm getting there. So the reality is you will find these techniques. You need to learn how to deal with them. Practice them, okay? If you have an ability to practice with someone, let them give you a little resistance, right? Don't just put it out there and pretend like this is the crap that people tell everyone that we are. That's not true. Stop making it true. If someone's working on this technique, for example, this one that I'm picking on today, if they throw out their arm and just keep it there, yeah, this will probably work, because why wouldn't it? They're not doing anything about it. But if they're actually trying to put a little paint on my nose and they're putting it to me and I can't do this, either one, it doesn't work, which in this case is my opinion, or two, you're not good enough at it to do it, which means you probably need to find something else to do in that situation. But the reality is they put just a little pressure on you and you can't do it, something there you need to look at. Just saying. Well, I hope you liked the video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell in the corner so you know when videos are posted each week. And as always, the more you train, easier the fight.